This right here is my favorite thing ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
Hey guys, Jack Atlas Fan 69 here. I'm currently in the middle of putting together another long-form video, but I wanted to get something short and simple out there, partially because I've been put on the spot to deliver this video, but also, I've been meaning to upload something for the last few months, but I got swamped with seasonal retail and traveling. But that's not really important right now, I'll probably talk about it more in my next video. Anyway, let's talk about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Although there's not really much to talk about. I mean, you already know how it is. This is a game that cuts corners everywhere, leading to an incredibly half-baked product. They make dramatic alterations to the series formula as we've known it for over a decade, actively making the franchise worse going forward because Game Freak feels the need to double down on it, and also betraying countless of their longest-standing fans. The plot is stupid, it makes no sense, the villain is dumb, the writing is bad, this tree looks really bad, why did they make this cutscene if they weren't going to voice it? And to top it all off, they have the audacity to charge you a $40 tip to try and squeeze any kind of fun out of this shoddy product. But like, these are things we already know. Like, this is not new information. These are things that are all now accepted as gospel truth by literally everyone on the entire planet, and you'd have to be either the biggest contrarian in the entire world or the most devout Game Freak bootlicker to even pretend like you have a dissenting opinion on the matter. Like, none of this is what I'm talking about today. There's one aspect of this game that I think hasn't been properly given the recognition nor the bashing it rightfully deserves. What am I talking about? This thing. I mean, look at him. He's wearing a massive fur-lined cape over a sports uniform. Like, what do you want me to say? The only thing that remotely holds this design together is the fact he's hot. I just feel like between this and his personality quirk of having no sense of direction, they were really trying to sell him as this goofy himbo. But in reality, he just looks like a child who doesn't know how to dress himself properly. You know, it'd be one thing if this was just like an ornamental thing that he wore to show matches or tournaments, but no, he wears this in public. He wears this everywhere in public, and it's not even just the cape itself. In case you don't remember, the entire cape is covered in sponsor tags, which not only gives his outfit even less cohesion, but it also makes him a fucking sellout. And speaking of being a sellout, his ace Pokemon is Charizard. Doesn't that already tell you everything you need to know? Charizard in its modern incarnation is basically Game Freak's way of trying to spoon-feed new concepts and novel ideas to an audience that's so stuck in the past they can't even consider that maybe the heyday of Pokemon wasn't actually Generation 1. So they have to dangle Charizard in front of them like a pair of keys to try and make any progress with them. To be fair, Charizard is pretty cool. If someone dangled him in front of me, I'd probably like clap my hands and drew a little. But it's the fact that in the process, it's basically become the face of nostalgia pandering. And it's also the fact that in absence of any compelling new ideas of world building, they just made the champion's ace Pokemon the same fucking lizard we've been forced to look at for the last 50 years. I guess what I'm trying to say is that to me, this entire character is just a fraud. He's not cool or interesting by any of his own merits. He's cool and interesting because Game Freak tells us that he is. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is still Pokemon Sword and Shield. Nobody really lucked out in the character writing department. The difference is, though, despite having the same design constraint of wearing a functional sports uniform, every other character design, particularly the other gym leaders, managed to synergize with the uniform rather than clash embarrassingly with it. Even characters like Opal with very complex accessories and furnishings still manage to communicate a concise idea, and I can't find a single other design of the bunch. Stop. Zoom in. Enhance. Oh no. Man, you know what? Maybe Leon wasn't that bad after all. You see, one thing Sword and Shield did that I do have high praise for is the concept of version-exclusive gym leaders. The two versions model is more or less a relic of the past that's kept alive because it's a low-effort, high-reward way of making money off these games, along with some other niche benefits like encouraging trading between players. However, Sword and Shield further differentiated from each other by introducing two gyms whose leaders were different depending on what version you bought. And this was definitely a huge point of consideration for many fans, myself included, as I ultimately landed on Pokemon Shield. I didn't mind at the time that I was missing out on literally the strongest Pokemon ever made. I was content because I liked the gym leaders I chose. However, after paying my $40 tip, it was announced that we'd be getting two more version-exclusive characters in the Isle of Armor DLC. Pokemon Sword got Clara, a self-made pop star who's actually a terrible person, but like in a cute and endearing way. Meanwhile, Pokemon Shield got the short end of the stick. I feel like I'm really in London, the way Game Freak stabbed me in the back and left me bleeding on the floor. See, unlike Leon, where I can just get rid of the cape and be left with a pretty competent and attractive design, every part of Avery's outfit combines together to create this cacophony of bad taste. It's like they took two relatively competent designs and smashed them together into this mess that's somehow far less than the sum of its parts. Yeah, a top hat would have been nice if you were trying to frame this character as a stage magician, but they didn't have to make it so fucking godlessly tall. He's also wearing dress loafers and frilled socks with basically gym shorts, tie-dye gym shorts. In fact, the whole outfit underneath the accessories is all tie-dye, which clashes embarrassingly with the black of the accessories. What the fuck is this thing? And the worst part of it all is the smug fucking look on his face, like he's staring at the camera and going, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Whereas I called Leon a child who doesn't know how to dress himself, Avery strikes me as somebody who has some working knowledge of what fashion is, yet willingly chooses not to incorporate any of the concepts contained therein. Or maybe he does understand fashion, he just cooked way too hard with his outfit, and it's his hubris, his unbridled human arrogance, that caused him to look in the mirror and think, yeah, this looks good, that he failed to see that he had completely constructed something beyond human understanding. The most hideous outfit I have ever seen in a Pokemon game to date and ever since. And so, as many haters have done before me with the game Conquered, I'd now like to present a redesign for this character. This is my personal re-envisioning of Avery, and here's a proof of concept showing my new design in motion. If anybody from Game Freak is listening, you know where to find me. And that's gonna be the end of the video. Make sure to leave a like and comment down below. Like I said, I do have another long-form video in the works, probably somewhere in the 20-minute range, but it is still going to be a bit before I have it out. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you can be the first to see whenever it actually comes out. Or maybe like the 6th person. Look, anywhere in the first 100 views is fine by me. Anything after that and you're not a real Jack Atlas Fan 69 fan. 69.